To become your higher self, you need to heal every single mental block that you have. A mental block is activated and recognizable when you feel triggered. And I'm pretty sure we all know this feeling. Triggers could be certain things or words that people do or say that really activate this triggering feeling in us. And that's a sign that you have a mental block that you need to solve and get rid of to really become your higher self. This will make you untouchable because you cannot be triggered anymore by anything. So in today's video, I will guide you through the healing process to become your higher self. Let's dive right in. The first thing, and I would say this is the most important thing, is inner child work. Because most of these triggers are rooted in your childhood. Because, as an example, you had parents that never heard or seen you. And this is something that you carry on your whole life. This influences your relationships and everything, basically. Because there are certain triggers that you carry within yourself from your childhood. Something that you can do is get in touch with your younger self. You could ask ChatGPT as an example. And there are certain meditations and visualizations that you can do to get in touch with your younger self. As an example, you can close your eyes and visualize yourself when you were little, like 7 years old. And you really feel the way that your younger self felt. So as an example, you get back into the feeling of you communicating with your parents or how your life was in general. And this can really feel scary as well. Be ready for that. But you really need to heal that in order to become better and become your higher self. So that inner work is really an essential. What you can do then is really hug your inner self and make him or her feel seen and loved and safe. So in this way, you show yourself that you are safe. You don't need to worry. Everything is all right. And this kind of safety that you give yourself is maybe something that you were missing your whole life. Because as an example, maybe your parents did not make you feel seen or loved or safe. So in this way, you kind of heal that wound. But this is really something that you need to do over and over again. And maybe it feels stupid for you in the beginning, and I also get that. Because you can really sit there and hug yourself while you are closing your eyes and visualizing your younger self. You might feel stupid in the beginning, but you can give yourself the safety and the love that you were always looking for when you were younger. And in this way, you really get in touch with the younger version of yourself that is really still in you. We all carry our inner child within us. All the experiences that we made, everything, all the mental blocks, they are still there. We carry them from our childhood. So if you really want to get better and get calmer, you need to heal those wounds. Next step is take action. Because now you know what your childhood wounds are. As an example, you did not feel loved by your parents. So right now you might have a bad attachment style. You could now have troubles finding a good relationship. So now that you know your wound, you need to write every single one down. And if you have 10, don't be ashamed. You are doing the right thing now. So don't ever be ashamed of that. It's not your fault. You were a small and little child. It's never your fault. So please don't blame yourself for that. But now you are grown and you take care of your inner self. And now you write all the things down that trigger you, that are your childhood wounds. So as an example, when you were little, your parents always showed you that you are too much and that it's not okay if you express your feelings or if you talk, you are just simply too much. What can happen now is in your relationships, even if it's just a friendship, if you're talking to someone and this person might not have the full attention on you, you get triggered. You get triggered because you are talking and this person doesn't see or hear you. And this really triggers your inner child. So you might react like in an extreme way and get extremely angry and scream, shout, whatever. And this is really a good example for a wound that you carry on from your childhood because you overreact. That's a sign that there's a trigger laying there and you need to heal and solve it for your relationships and also for yourself, because this triggering feeling and this overreacting, it just takes a lot of energy from you. So really just take action, write the wound down that you need to heal, write everything down that triggers you. Next step is recognize your patterns and also remind yourself that this feeling doesn't belong to you anymore. Because you need to remind yourself that you have outgrown these feelings and these limiting beliefs that you carry with you from your childhood. They don't belong to you anymore. You know about them, but you are distancing yourself from them. Something that can also help is to communicate clearly, because now that you really know that this doesn't belong to you anymore, it's normal that it can still trigger you sometimes. So you can also communicate with your closest people, like friends, family, your partner, and tell them, hey, you see, I get triggered by that. Just to let you know. That doesn't mean that the person should change their whole behavior, because sometimes we also get triggered by things that we should simply not get triggered by. But then they also know and understand why you sometimes overreact, and they know, oh, okay, now I triggered her. And communication is really the essential to having healthy and good relationships where you know what the other person carries around, and you can also then know if something might be too much. But still, you are working on those triggers. I would let everyone, like my closest people, know that these are my triggers, I'm working on them, just to let you know why I'm overreacting sometimes. And then the people know what to do, what not to do, and also understand if you overreact sometimes. Also super important is the fact that you know that these mental blocks that you had are okay. You don't blame yourself for that. You're not ashamed for that. It's totally okay. Never be ashamed. This was a part of you and it might still be a part of you. Healing takes a long time and a lot of work. So don't blame yourself for that. You accept the fact that you have these triggers from your childhood and you just are okay with that, but you know that this doesn't belong to you anymore and that you are kind of evolving and that it's time for a new chapter. So you accept it, but you move on kind of. And this gives you peace because you don't blame yourself for that. Now I'm also going to give you some tips that you can do when you feel triggered. So the first thing, I know it's hard, don't react. Don't react, just breathe. So if something comes up that triggers you, just don't react. Take a deep breath in and calm your nervous system down. Don't react. If you react now, firstly, you are overreacting. And then maybe the person you are communicating with is also overreacting because of your overreaction. So it just all gets even worse and worse. So this is not something that you should do. I know it's hard. We feel triggered and we want to let every emotion out. We want to get rid of those emotions. But if we take a step back, calm our nervous system down, we can react with a different energy. This energy comes from a clearer place. So you are more grounded and you can think, okay, what kind of reaction does make sense now? is it even that bad? Do I need to shout and scream? Because the moment when you scream, your body gets really full of this anger emotion. And that's nothing that is good for you. You waste a lot of your energy then. Also, reflecting and writing down your feelings is super important because you get in touch with yourself more. So if something came up that was triggering you, write it down. What was the emotion? Why did it come up? And how did you react? Just kind of journal and document it. You will recognize changes over time, and this will also show you that you made progress. So especially when you tend to get angry, meditation is something that you can do, breath work, calm your nervous system, and you can journal, as I already told you, write the things down that you feel, get more in touch with yourself. You can go for a walk, spend time in nature, and you really need to also remind yourself, every time you are reacting, you are giving your energy away. So always think like this: is it worthy to react now? Does it make sense to react now? And if you think of it like this, every time you react to something, you give your energy away and you harm yourself with that. That's something that will just be in your mind then. So every time something triggering comes up, you remind yourself, okay, if I react now, I'm harming myself. If I get angry now, I'm harming myself. So take a step back then and just calm down first. And then you can still react, but it comes from a different place. Not from anger, not from sadness. It just is more calm and grounded. Also, something that you should realize is sometimes our silence speaks more than words. We don't need to react to anything. It's not our responsibility. If someone triggers you and you can feel that this person is just really also reacting out of anger and is just miserable, don't put your energy in that. You are worthy to just be in your peace, and you don't need to react to everything. Always ask yourself, is it worth it to react to that? The last thing that I want to mention is going to therapy, because some people carry around deep, deep mental blocks from their childhood. And you can definitely heal a lot of things on your own and work with yourself. This will already empower you and make you stronger. But in the end, it's always good to have a therapist then, especially if you had a really hard childhood, that can help you get more in touch with yourself and heal even more. So loves, this was it with my video. I hope you found it helpful. If you did, leave a like and also subscribe to my channel, and we're going to see each other in the next video. Bye bye!